Well, hello and welcome to the Arizona Rattlers preseason show, Defending the Cup 2013 here on Cox 7. I'm Kevin Ray. Once again, we are very excited to bring you arena football action with the defending AFL champion Arizona Rattlers this season as Cox 7 and the Rattlers have teamed up once again. Let's bring in my fellow broadcast partners, Dale Hellestray, Chris Harris. And guys, great to see you and looking forward to another phenomenal run for the Arizona Rattlers. But real quickly, let's reflect on an even more monumental season last year, 13-5, and they cap it off with an Arena Bowl championship.
An awful lot of fun, and obviously the expectations were high going in to the season, and they finished off with the Arena Bowl title. Getting to see the players back here in studio, seems like just yesterday we were celebrating that championship.
And it's always fun to be a part of a championship team. And the Rattlers, they had not won an Arena Bowl in so many years. And to pull it off, they overcame some injuries, got the job done, beating Philadelphia. It's always a great thing. And Dale, I got a question for you. As a person who was a part of 3 Super Bowl winning teams with the Cowboys, from a mental standpoint, what are the challenges for the Rattlers going into this season?
It's going to be really difficult because now you have that target on you each and every time you go out and play the game. And so you have to work a little bit harder. I know Jimmy Johnson on us was so difficult, that training camp, to get us ready to go.
Of course, this is a league that's gone through some changes over the last several years. Some good changes, though, this year in the sense from a player's perspective, perhaps getting a new CBA. So solidifying player stance, solidifying the league a little bit, will present some inherent challenges for each and every ball club throughout the league. But I think all in all, it will be a good thing. One thing we can talk about this season, fewer teams, but it won't alter the schedule.
No, it won't, but those teams that are still here are strong. And again, everything you do to make this league stronger is better.
And those other teams are going to be more competitive as well. Having the 3 less teams, that talent gets dispersed around the league. Going to make it much more competitive as well.
And as we know, guys, with each and every league, whatever the sport, inherent change is part of the process. Several new players are going to be part of this challenge, as you put it, Dale, to secure another title.
Yeah, and coming into this training camp, you know, half the roster from last year's championship team is gone. And you look at Tyson Poots here, one of the new guys, wide receiver, came over from Utah, and this guy wreaked absolute havoc with the Rattlers last year when Poots was playing for the Blaze. And look at the numbers he put up in 3 games against the Rattlers. The guy was absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be nice to see him in a Rattlers uniform. Another wide receiver, the AFL Rookie of the Year last year, Jared Perry, played for Chicago last year. What an incredible year he had. And it's 2 straight years now the Rattlers have picked up the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. And then look on the offensive line, you got Billy Eisenhart, 6'3", 305. He was second-team All-Arena Center last year. He's going to be replacing the first-team All-Arena Center in Kyle Young, and this guy is very, very solid. And then you've got a familiar name with Rattlers fans, Rod Windsor. This guy was a 2-time All-Arena first-team player, former Rookie of the Year as well. Missing last season, he was kind of doing the NFL thing, but he's back with the Rattlers this year, and they are very happy to see that man here.
Yeah, speaking of happy, Rattler fans should be incredibly happy because the Nick and Mo show will move on to another season, and that's great news for Rattler fans, bad news for their secondaries.
It's obviously a spectacular combination. They're going to be even better this year with more familiarity. Nick comes into this season as healthy as he's been in a couple years. Purify obviously has the talent to take his game to another level, and this offense is going to be setting all sorts of records this year.
In that wide receiver position, they brought 8 different receivers into camp. That is going to be so competitive to find the right guys, the right mix. Who's going to make the team? That's going to be a very, very talented unit.
And as we see these highlights, the one thing that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on, the guys up front.
Right.
Are they going to be able to give Nick and company time to throw the football? Because that is basically a completely new offensive line, only 1 returning starter. How quickly can they mesh?
Right. And I think the good news, you talk about the potential for complacency because of the competitiveness out there at the receiver spots and up there at the offensive line. I think that complacency will go away real quickly. Let's take a peek at the season schedule for your defending AFL champs. And there you have it. They will get it started off with a bang, facing off against their friends from Philly. And that will be a national telecast. And then at the Blaze, San Jose, you don't need to talk a whole lot about the fireworks that takes place when they square off against the SaberCats.
And you take a look at that schedule, and the league did them no favors whatsoever. You got Philly, Utah, and San Jose. And San Jose, by the way, they picked up Aaron Garcia at quarterback. phenomenal job by the SaberCats picking up another wonderful QB.
The guy that will QB with his double ARP card. All right, stay with us. The captain of the ship, Coach Kevin Guy, on deck, and we'll talk with him as the Defending the Cup 2013, the Arizona Rattlers preseason show continues here on Cox 7.
Illegally touched by the kicking team at the 9-yard line.
Hey, let's take a look at the West Division teams that the Rattlers will be scoring off twice against this season. See how they did last year, and nothing easy at all about this division, as you can see, all with 10 wins each. So extremely difficult West Division, and the man who will try to master it once again, heading into his 6th season, head coach Kevin Guy. Makes a pit stop in here, taking a little time away from practice. Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys having me in here.
You excited?
Very excited. Excited being back with you guys.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Obviously, I think the number one thing on people's minds are you win the Arena Bowl championship last year. Obviously, a fantastic end to a really difficult season, I think, as you went through it. How has the offseason been different for you this year than maybe it was a year ago?
You know, recruiting. We really wanted to get after it in recruiting and you know, make sure that the guys didn't get complacent and really bring in some talent that's going to, you know, push these guys for their jobs. And you know, these guys have taken their work out serious in the offseason, so I'm very excited where we're at right now as a football team.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about last season, and you go back 2 years ago, and you guys went through the regular season almost unscathed, didn't really have any challenges. You lose that heartbreaker the last few seconds of the Arena Bowl championship. Last year, completely different type of campaign for you as a coach and a general manager. It seemed like every week you were losing multiple guys and forced you to be kind of a plug-and-play type coach. But I think we felt like in the end, it made you a stronger team mentally, which that resolve paid off for the championship.
Yeah, no question. I think that adversity did make us a better team. I was glad that it happened. You know, we had a lot of things going on during the season, not only with injuries, but the players trying to come to agreement with the owners with a new CBA, and then we had a player that passed away as well. So, you know, there was a lot of things that went on during the season that definitely made us stronger as a football team. And the year before, we just didn't have those issues. You know, we stayed healthy, and you know, we really didn't face that adversity to the championship game. And I think it put us a little bit in shock mode.
You have so much talent offensively. Last year, scored points in bunches, and yet this year you go out and sign a bunch of receivers who can play this game. Talk a little bit about your mindset. How come a coach, general manager would go out and do that?
Well, I think I was in a position where I had to plug and play last year, and I didn't want to be in that position again. And durability is a part of the game, you know, and part of the evaluation when we evaluate these guys. And you know, we just felt like we couldn't be put in that same situation again, and we wanted to bring in some competition and make it very competitive in camp.
So you have all that talent on the outside, obviously an all-league quarterback, and the one part of your offense that is changing a little bit this year is the offensive line. Talk a little bit about that. Are you concerned? Are they coming together? Give us a status report.
They're going to come together. I mean, they're the last group that really comes around, and they've been really working hard. We've got some pieces we've got to fill. Kyle Young retired. Some of the other guys moved on. But we brought in some guys that we think are pretty good. We just picked up Odie Armstrong late in the camp. So we went out and got free agency. We got Billy Eisenhart, who was a second-team All-Arena center. And, you know, right so far from what I've seen, he's just as good as Kyle Young. So I'm very pleased where we're at. And we'll get better. Coach Connie Kawhi will do a great job with those guys. And
you mentioned the new CBA. Of course, all teams have to play under the same rules. In one way, it helps solidify this league. What type of challenges will it present to you as both coach and general manager for this team?
Well, roster size is number one. You know, we still get to keep 24, but instead of dressing 21 on game night, we can only dress 20, you know. And then the IR system is a little frustrating as a coach, because the way it works now, it's just like the NFL. If you go on IR, you're done for the season. So you really got to use that 21st through 24th spot as your IR. And, you know, obviously when it starts affecting how we practice and prepare for games, that's going to put me in a bad mood.
Right. And we don't like KG to be in a bad mood. Hey, great to see you, buddy. Looking forward to a great season.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. When we come back, we're going to spend some time in the community with the Rattlers, and we'll visit with Rattlers team president Joe Wyndham. Stay with us.
I like your jersey. You want me to throw that away for you?
Well, welcome back to Defending the Cup 2013. The Rattlers were extremely busy this offseason giving back to the community. Our Cox 7 Sports' Lindsey Smith teamed up with the club during the holidays.
1, 2, 3.
The Arizona Rattlers, players, sidewinders, and the staff teamed up with the 9th Man to give back to the community this past holiday season at their first ever Toy and Blood Drive.
It's the time of the year for everybody just to get together and just kind of forget their problems and just have a good time and help people less fortunate.
The inaugural holiday drive at the U.S. Airways Center featured a range of activities, like a toy drive,
You can just put them in here. Perfect. Thank you so much.
free pictures with Santa,
So have you been a good girl this year?
a blood drive,
Giving the gift of life.
and of course, activities for the kids.
Putting a smile on people's face, you know, especially the kids. That's what it's about. You know, my mom always would tell me, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And so, you know, when you're the quarterback of the team, you always want to make sure that you're giving a smile to somebody's face, not just by throwing touchdowns, but by talking to them.
It's no surprise that the Arizona Rattlers play a huge part in the community, and this holiday drive is a new tradition they hope to continue.
We expect it to be really big next year, and so we're going to promote it all year long. And this is going to be the event to come to every year.
All the toys donated were given to the Salvation Army and the Christmas Angels Foundation to support children throughout the valley, and the American Red Cross helped with all the blood donations.
We've been blessed as players and coaches, and it's a chance to put a smile back on young kids' faces, and also, you know, to build our relationships in the community.
For Cox 7 Sports, covering the Arizona Rattlers, I'm Lindsey Smith.
And if you'd like to find out the Rattlers' next stop in the community, you can be sure and check it out at azrattlers.com under the community section. And a guy who knows no off-season, talking, of course, about Arizona Rattlers president Joe Wyndham. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, Kevin.
A busy off-season for you, but I think the one thing, as we saw that piece there, the last couple of years, you guys have really made a concerted effort to get out and get involved in the community.
Yeah, we have. I mean, it's close to the heart to all of us here, you know, at the Rattlers organization, especially, you know, with our new owner, Ron Schertz, and you know, he has a lot of foundations that are, you know, centered around kids and family, and we want to become, you know, more tied into the fabric of the community and give back.
A busy off-season for you. You wear multiple hats. Talk about what the plan, the strategy was for you coming off of that exciting Arena Bowl championship.
Well, I think we really wanted to capitalize on it. You know, we've been very fortunate that we've had, you know, a great football product on the field, and, you know, we've had a little bit of a challenge getting it back out to the community. And so we wanted to make sure we were out there giving back a little bit and letting people know that we're back here and we're stronger than ever.
And, of course, winning that championship, fans are going to get to see some of those player championship rings. But great idea for you guys. You created a replica ring. How can fans get their hands on those things?
Yeah, it's a pretty neat deal. We had a pretty nice job done. They're pretty big, and they've got the snake on them. And we wanted to have the fans be able to celebrate with us. And so you can go to azrattlers.com and the shop part of it, and we have some of those there. There is a limited number. So you have to get your hands on them quick. And
quickly, ticket information, season tickets, single game tickets, where do they go?
The quickest place to go to azrattlers.com. You can get single games on Ticketmaster. Our account executives are there to help you for your season tickets, and all the specials. They'll know all the games. We have themes for every night and everything like that. So come on out and have a good time.
All right, looking forward to it. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Team President Joe Wyndham hanging out with us here on this preseason special. Don't go anywhere, though. We've got some special guests that are going to be hanging out with us next. Hey, be sure and follow us all season long on Facebook to see exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, Rattlers game highlights, and, of course, schedule updates. And you can like us at Cox 7 Sports Arizona on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Cox 7 Arizona. Well, let's welcome in a couple of very special guests here to the studio. Nick Davila and defensive nose menace, I like to call him. Forget nose guard, nose menace, and Tosh Hawthorne. Great to see you both.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk a little bit about, okay, both of you on
last year's championship team. Last time we saw you, it was in this room, and you were celebrating. What's gone on this off season for you to get ready for this season?
For me, a lot of hard work and dedication. You know, we wanted to, get ready for next year, and it's very hard in professional sports to have a back-to-back championship. So that's what we plan on doing. That's what we always try to do here, and that's what we're going to do.
Talk about your elbow and what fans can expect from you this year a little bit.
You expect the Latin laser to come out even stronger, but I finally feel pretty healthy, and we did a great job of working out hard. You know, the coaches got us ready, and we're just ready. I'm just ready to go.
You got a lot of new weapons on this team. Now, as a quarterback, when you have 3, 4, 5 big-time targets, are you at all worried about keeping them all satisfied?
No, I think the guys here, we have good character guys as a receiving core, and as a quarterback, you just take the defense dictate where the ball is going to go. So sometimes, even last year, we had guys that were getting off. Like Maurice Purify, he had a great game, and then next week, the team game plan against him. So then Kerry Reed had a great game. So it just all depends on the defense and what they give us.
And Antaj, coming back with this defense, we talked about so many personnel changes, but for the most part, this defense coming back intact. Cliff Duke's back along with you. Talk about what you're most excited about with this defense, which I thought really over the last 5-6 weeks of the season rose to the occasion.
Definitely you mentioned Cliff Duke's coming back. Our whole defense line has come back. Tyree Glasper, Marcus Pittman as well. We also brought back Antron Dillon, who was a young guy last year and who was just improved in the offseason and is really looking good in camp this season. Pretty much brought back all of our DBs. We added All-Arena DB Jeremy Kellum to the defense as well. And, we have the chemistry. We all played together last year, and we're ready just to go out there and get it.
The Arena League is known as an offensive league. A lot of points are scored. Mentally, how does that affect you? How do you go on the field knowing, hey, a good defensive game, we might give up 50 points. How do you approach each game from a mental standpoint?
Mentally, you just, get the game plan from the coaches, and you always want to go out and get stops. Defenses are judged by, how many stops they get a game. We go out and get 5, 6, 7 stops, and we win that game. The lowest score that we keep them at, it's definitely a plus for us.
Now, I'm sitting here talking to you. You're calm, cool, almost a little bit shy, but it seems like every game you're involved in at least one skirmish or two. Talk about just the way you approach the game, and do you try and get in the minds of the offensive linemen? What are you trying to do out there on the football field?
Oh, well, it's really not me. It's those guys, trying to yell and, start some trouble with me. I'm not a trouble starter,
Right. You're a finisher.
I finish. Yeah. But, you want to go out there and, give it your all. For me, it's about earning respect, for the Rattlers and, trying to win championships, things that we've been trying to do here since 2008. When you're winning, defense playing good, might be, a couple words exchanged, but, it's all in good fun.
Okay. And for both of you, really, as guys coming in to defend the championship with new faces, do you kind of see your roles as being the cops of the team, making sure that everybody understands what the mentality and where the bar has been set for this franchise?
Yeah, the veterans set the tone in training camp, and, like you said, there's a different standard here at Arizona Rattlers, and that's why we win championships, and we just want to keep that going, and, that just comes along with being comfortable and being a leader.
Well, great to see you both, and here's to a very productive and healthy 2013. A couple of the big playmakers for the Arizona Rattlers. Well, they are the top dance team in the AFL. Meet some of this year's Sidewinder dancers when we come back. Well, attending a Rattlers game is always a high-energy, entertaining experience. And, of course, a major part of that is due to the Sidewinders dance team. Our Chris Harris caught up with the sideline Sirens recently during their final stages of the tryouts.
Hello, Rattlers fans. Welcome to the 2013 Sidewinders Audition Show.
The process involved with becoming a Sidewinder is pretty intense, but it's also worth it in the end.
60 dancers in all tried out in hopes of claiming one of the coveted 18 spots for the Sidewinders team this year. And with the field narrowed down to 33, the final auditions took place in front of a packed house at Talking Stick Resort in Scottsdale.
They're going to be performing an opening number, much like a pageant, and then they'll also be getting scored on the 2 routines they perform. Additionally, we snuck in a bikini walk, which they look fantastic, so they have nothing to worry about. What we are looking for with the Sidewinders is someone that has the energy and charisma to really connect with the crowd without speaking, just through their dance, and has the energy to be out there for 3+ hours.
For Shelby, it's an experience she'll have for a 3rd straight year.
Being with the Sidewinders is just an amazing experience. You get a sense of family. You're with your team at practices and games. We've all gotten to be very close.
During the season, the Sidewinders will practice twice a week for 6 hours and then put in 7 hours on game nights.
We have a lot of support for us as dancers. It's loud and just so high energy. There's not any other type of sports arena that's like being in the snake pit for Rattlers. It's awesome.
Besides putting in long hours as a Sidewinder, these dancers also have very busy and interesting schedules while they're away from the Rattlers.
When I am not dancing, I am at Midwestern Dental Institute. I'm currently a 3rd-year dental student. I love it. It's been a really great educational experience, so I feel like I will be ready to be a full-on dentist when I graduate in the next couple years. We do everything to oral surgery, root canals, endodontics, periodontics, crowns, cleanings, fillings.
I'm a realtor specializing in the East Valley. I'm a part of the Perspective Real Estate Group where we have all women on our team, and so again, we're just like a little family. We help each other out with work, and it's a great job. It allows me to be flexible but still do something that lets me take care of people that need a home, and that's an important part of life, so it's good.
What's also good is the Sidewinders' commitment to giving back to the community.
We do a lot of charity work. We also do different types of appearances, and so we need people that can mingle with, the crowd as well as represent us at hospitals and other events, and really just an ambassador for the team.
We want to stay involved in the community. We want to give back, because those are the people that are coming out there allowing us to do this, because if we didn't have the fans, guess what? We're not here playing. So we want to give back to them as much as we can, and the Sidewinders are a huge part of that.
Let's give a last round of applause to all of your new dancers and all the finalists that participated today.
Well, be sure to check out the Sidewinders each and every home game this season. And if you haven't been to a Rattlers game, I highly recommend it. It is a great entertainment value for the dollars. And real quickly, guys, before we go, just some parting thoughts as we get ready for what should be a very memorable season.
Super excited. I mean, what a great group of guys from the coaches and front office to the players, and it's a team you can really get behind and root for, and looking for big, exciting things from this team, and hopefully a repeat championship.
And Coach Guy has talked about wanting to not make last year a one-hit wonder. With the way they've reloaded this team, I mean, the future is very bright for the Rattlers for many years to come.
Yeah, first-class organization, and I think we've learned anything from Coach Kevin Guy. He knows how to push the buttons and keep this team extremely hungry. Well, thanks to the Rattlers, of course, for all their help in putting this show together. For our Cox 7 sports team, Dale, Chris, Lindsay, and everyone behind the scenes, we'll see you at an Arizona Rattlers game this season, and of course, right here on Cox 7.
Hi, I'm Kevin Guy, head coach